All right, today we are looking at 1C.2. Sorry. And it says I can simplify radicals. Sorry, guys. I can simplify radicals by identifying a perfect square as a factor of the radicand. Okay, so we're still looking at radicals. So one of the things to look here is perfect squares. All right, what is a perfect square? And a perfect square is a number that is the sorry, for some reason the computer keeps freezing. That is the square, and again that's or power of 2 of another number. So for example, 4 squared equals 16, so therefore 16 is a perfect square. So the product property of square roots, our product property of square roots says if I have the square root of a times b, that equals the square root of a times the square root of b. So the first thing we want to know is a lot of our square numbers because they'll help us with simplifying these radicals. So we're just going to fill this out. 1 squared means 1 times 1, which is 1. 2 squared, which is 2 times 2 is 4. 3 squared, 3 times 3 is 9. 4 squared, right, or 4 times 4 is 16. 5 squared, 5 times 5 is 25. 6 squared, 6 times 6 is 36. 7 squared, 7 times 7 is 49. 8 squared, 8 times 8 is 64. 9 squared, 9 times 9 is 81. 10 squared, 10 times 10 is 100. 11 squared, 11 times 11. 12 squared, right, is 144. 12 times 12. 13 squared is 169. 14 squared is 196. And 15 squared is 225. Okay. So knowing these will help us with the rest of our problems, okay? So let's look at example 1. We're going to simplify the square root of 49. Okay. So you're going to look for the number in the list. If the number exists in the list, great. The square root of 49 equals the square root of 7 squared, right? Because 7 squared is 49. The square root and your squared are opposite operations. They cancel each other out. So then we get that equals 7. Okay? So if you can write something squared, then we can cancel out that radical. Okay, looking at example 2, the square root of 48. So 48 is not in my list. So I'm going to start with the first number smaller than 48 and try and divide that. Nothing on store today. Start with 48 divided by 36. There it goes. Sorry guys, the computer's being Really weird. This is a fraction. It does not divide evenly. So we move on to our next smallest, which is this 25. So 48 divided by 25. Nope. Let's move on to 16. Yes, that one does work. Okay. So we now have the square root of 48. I divided it by 16. And I had a remainder of 3, or I got an answer of 3. So that means 16 times 3 is 48. So that's the square root of 16 times the square root of 3. Oh, well, 16 is 4 squared, right, because we pulled it from our list. And now here is where my square root and my squared cancel out with that 4 squared. So I'm left with 4 times the square root of 3. Okay, so it's a few steps here. Looking at 72, my biggest number that's smaller than 72 is 64. So I'll do 72 divided by 64. No. 72 divided by 49. No. 2 divided by 36. Ooh, there we go. That one's just an integer, right? So we can use 36. So 72 breaks in 2. It was 36, and then we got 2 when we divided. So that's the square root of 36 times the square root of 2. 36 is 6 squared, so I replace it. And again, when I have a square root and a square, they cancel out, just like addition and subtraction cancel, or multiplication and division. So I'm left with 6 times the square root of 2. All right, let's look at example 4. I'll have to do some scrolling here. So I have 4 square root of 81. So now we have these numbers on the outside that we want to be careful with. So if I look, 81 is actually in my problems. Okay. So what this means is this is really 4 times the square root of 81, but up above, right, we can replace 81 with that 9 squared. Then we have 4 times. Those cancel. So I'm left with 4 times 9. And then, what is 4 times 9, right? We can always use a calculator. Is 36. Looking at example 5, right? We again have 12 times the square root of something, right, is 8 in our list. No, but the first number smaller than 8 is 4. And if I know my multiplication even a little bit, I think that 4 does divide 8. But again, you can always check. Oh, it's 2. Good. So we have 4 times 2. So that's 12 times the square root of 4 times the square root of 2, which is 12 times, right? Now I'm replacing 4 with that 2 squared. Sorry. Those cancel, right? So I have 12 times, right, those canceled 2, and then times my square root of 2, as I'm just reading left to right. These I can combine, right, this 12 times 2, and 12 times 2 is 24, square root 2. Our last problem, 7 square root 75. 7 times the square root of, and again, I want to check, it doesn't look like 75 is in my problem, or is in my list, but the next smallest number is 64. Sorry. 75 divided by 64. No. by 49. No. By 36? No. By 25, right, which is our next one there. And that one does work, okay? So 75 is divisible by 25. Right. And when we divided it, we got 3, so that means 25 times 3 is 75. So then I have the square root of 25 times the square root of 3. And that's really 25 is really 5 squared. Again, here, these cancel out. Sorry about the bell. And then we're just combining, right, multiplying those, because they're both out in front. 35 square root 3. All right, go ahead, work on your activity.